Welcome to all the pies. My name's Sai. This is Kev, and this is the Man City preview.
Harry,
Imagine,
how are you doing?
imagine if I was like that, like in your
Yeah,
face, present a kind of.
I can't imagine that. I can't
Fucking
imagine
cringy.
you haven't got the face for it, Si,
I haven't got the
unfortunately.
face for it, or the voice for it.
Neither, yeah. So
Yeah,
you don't have a lot going for you.
I don't. Nah,
No.
I
Why are we
don't.
doing this? Should we end the video now?
May as well. Fuck it off. I want to hang myself. No, please. That was a joke. I know
That
everyone's
was controversial, to say the
sensitive in
least.
these times.
Oh,
Uh,
dark.
but,
Finishing off the last of me Wembley beers.
oh no, I couldn't. I'm on the God, this can tell that I've turned fucking
A
middle-aged and middle class. I'm drinking a Trip.
trip. Well,
CBD infused vegan handcrafted Trip.
that sounds really
Mm.
disgusting.
It's lemon and basil.
Lemon and basil. Oh,
Mm.
yeah. Two things I've always wanted to drink together.
Actually, it's really nice.
Oh,
I imagine
yeah.
it would be fucking lush with gin. It would be
Aye.
lush with gin.
Stick
But
a gin
obviously,
in. Get a gin in there.
I'm doing it to stay off the booze. I'm trying to not drink in the house because I want to see
Just
my grandkids.
be
Not that I've
overrated,
got any on
honestly.
the way anyway time soon. My kids are still kids, but I'm just morbidly obese and I don't want to die young.
Oh, you're not going to die young because you're already old.
I'm already old, aren't I?
Aye.
4 days time, I'll be 43.
Is your birthday in 4 days?
It is.
I had totally remembered.
I know, of course you had.
I'd completely remembered that,
I
and
know
I
you had.
hadn't just found out now at
Yeah,
all.
yeah, I know, I know.
So I'll
I'll
not say
expect
happy
something
birthday
nice.
yet. Hmm?
I expect a nice prezi.
Oh yeah, it'll be. I've already bought it. It's going to be a surprise.
Good.
Going to be a
Good.
surprise.
Anyway, right. So after the defeat against Man United, we're playing the neighbours in blue. Of all the people to try and get a bounce back match against, we've got to go to fucking Etihad to play against an informed City.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
the easier Manchester team.
yeah. I'm just I thought I'd get the stats up
Oh, go
before
on,
we started,
delight us, delight us.
just just to think, oh well, maybe there's some positivity there. Since 2009, I think we've played them on average. I don't know, I mean that's 30 odd, maybe 40 times in both the Premier League, FA Cup, and it says Carling Cup. That was the last time we played them in the League Cup. So about 40 times. Do you want to guess out of those 40 times how many times we've beat them?
What's it? 40 times since 2009, is it?
Probably. I don't know. I'm not. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 20. About 30.
About 30 times. How many out of 30 have we
We've
beaten
beaten them.
them since 2009?
Yeah.
Not have what, 3,
Oh, you're feeling lucky. 2.
2, 2.
Once in the league and once in the Carling Cup. We last beat them in the League Cup in 2014. We beat them 2-0, and that was at the Etihad, where I'm imagining they probably fielded a weak team. I can't see the exact team, but I imagine that they fielded a weak team for the League Cup.
A win nonetheless,
We win
Simon.
nonetheless.
You can only beat what's in front of you.
And then we beat them at home. Remember this one, 2019, 2-1.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
I remember
we've had a handful of draws, but then everything else we've just been battered.
I've had some right batterings as well.
We had 5-0. We've had 2 5-0s.
One of them 5-0s weren't we like 2 or 3-0 down within like the first 10 minutes?
I can't remember.
I
blocked really bad the pizza out of my head.
That's what I do as well. Like, as if that never happened.
2 5-0s, 6 1s, 4-0s, 4 3s, 3 3s, which were good ones. And then another 4-0, another 4-0, 3-1, 3-1, 2-1, 2-1, 3-1. Yeah. With the
I do remember one Man City game where Czech Tiote got an absolute raker and disallowed for offside, and he was nowhere near offside. and remember thinking we probably would have went on to win that game. I can't give you the year off the top of my head, but that is one memory because I'm a little bit like you as well. When we get really stuffed, I like to just sweep it under the carpet and pretend it
forget
didn't
about it.
happen,
Yeah,
bury my head in the sand.
yeah.
So stats aren't me forte normally anyway. So if I want to go in stats, I have to do a bit of research. And with this particular one, I didn't want to research. I was like, well, yeah, it wasn't good, but
Yeah. The last time we played them, obviously we were at home, the 3-3, where Maxi was on fire that day. I would love for a Newcastle like that to turn up. That was back in August.
Maxi had water on toast, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well,
So
I've got you know what it is, right? I've got a funny little feeling that I'm not saying we're going to go out there and win, or I've got a feeling we might come away with a draw. I've just got a feeling we might come away with a draw. I'm hoping we see a bit of a reaction after the weekend, and I've got a feeling that that we might see a bit of a reaction. I could be completely wrong with that. I don't know why I'm even thinking that. But what are you thinking?
well, if I was going to do a score prediction, I could never on this channel predict we're getting beat. I just can't bring myself to ever do it. So I would say a draw would be our best bet. It would be relying on our defence. Because obviously, we'll talk about the squads. We'll start with their squad. They've got like 3 squads, haven't they? You don't know who they're going to play. So last week, when they beat Bournemouth 4-1, and obviously Edison in goal, they had Akanji, Diaz, and Ake. Then look at these players. They've had Foden, Alvarez, Lewis, Gundogan, Grealish, Haaland, never said, and Foden. That's just, they haven't even got De Bruyne on or anything like that in the smashing teams 4-1 away.
Shite in it, aye. I would hate to have that team, me. No, and you know what it is, like Man City, it's one of those teams where it doesn't really matter if they get an injury. Like, going into the Man United game, which we said we weren't going to talk about, the whole talk was, oh, if Rashford's not playing, we might have a chance. With Man City, doesn't matter, does it?
Nah.
Somebody gets injured, somebody equally as good is just going to take the place.
Just looking at that bet, like that was in the cup final. That was like we brought on, like, no offense to these players, but I think we all know they're not at that level. We brought on like Matt Ritchie and we brought on Jacob Murphy and that. When you look at like City's bench last week, we've got Walker, Calvin Phillips, De Bruyne, Ortega, Bernardo Silva, Gomez, Mahrez, just all sitting on the bench. Like,
I mean, I wonder why. I mean, well, I know he likes a bit of rotation, doesn't he, Pep? And why wouldn't you when you've got a squad like that? Why wouldn't you? But Mahrez has been on fire this season.
Then he was
scored some absolute. That's what I'm saying. So you think to yourself, oh, as long as we keep Mahrez quiet, like he's having an absolutely storming season, and nobody's sort of certain of the place.
Yeah.
I mean, I had
there needs to be more competition for players in our team. I think there's too much complacency if everyone knows pretty much the team that's going to get picked.
Well, I mean, that probably leads nicely on to the predicted lineup. I mean, what are you thinking for Saturday? Because we'll probably have an opportunity.
But what I'm hoping is that Isak starts. I really think he needs a good run of games. I do think he'll be a tremendous player. I think Wilson just looks shattered. I don't think Target will get a start.
So is he? Is he? What is it? Are they saying he's close to match ready, or because I haven't really seen any update?
He was on the bench that day. But obviously Eddie Howe will not just throw him straight in, will he? He'll not just chuck him straight in. So, and I think Byrne looks shattered. I think loads of them look fatigued, really fatigued. Miggy looks shattered. He's not the player he was. So I'd like to see Isak starting. I'd like to see Gordon starting. But I don't know about the formation because I wouldn't mind seeing ASM keep his place just because of the form. Looks like he's on his way back up. The game he had against Man City last time. But then when we had Joe Linton out on the sides, we seem to be playing better. But I don't know. Could
I mean, I want to pick.
Gordon play instead of Miggy? Do you reckon? Could he do that? Then maybe switch across with ESM and try and confuse them and switch from flank to flank. I don't know.
Against Man City. I can't really
Why
see
not?
that happening. I
The
mean,
worst that could happen.
you talk. I want to go back to something that you said there. Actually, I mean, you're saying the look fatigue. Do you think it is fatigue?
A highway high.
Do you? I mean, we had a large break where the players, apart from a handful, weren't really involved in the World Cup. Is it just? I was thinking about this the other day, and it probably sounds stupid coming out of my mouth, but is it just because we're not doing that press that we used to have, that intensive press that we used to have? It comes across as though they seem fatigued because
Nah, I don't think
the
so.
beginning of the season, we were like, our press was absolutely insane. When you look at the Tottenham game in particular, I remember watching that, and the intensive press we had right the way through it. Now that seems to have died off a little bit. And that could be on the back of fatigue, I suppose. But I mean,
I think when you look at last year, before last season before Howe came in, under Bruce, what that schedule would have been like. They were run. I mean, Miggy still ran, bless him, but he didn't really know what he was doing. ASM was at bursts, but the rest of them, they didn't really. And I know there's a lot of new players come in, but just I think the intensive training style of Eddie Howe mixed with the intensity on the pitch week in week out, I think are fatigued.
Yeah, so you think maybe the training regime's catching up on them because they didn't have this sort of build up to it under Bruce. And I know Bruce probably the only run that did is when he sent somebody to run the chippy for fish cake and
Yeah,
chips for him.
exactly.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
I suppose there's something in that, but again, I guess it comes down to squad depth then as well, doesn't it? Because
That's exactly what it comes down to, not having any fresh legs. Well, any fresh legs with great quality to bring on.
yeah, I mean, you think it's time for Gordon to start?
I do. I do.
You do.
Each time I've seen him come on, he seemed lively.
So you're picking the team, not Eddie Howe. You're picking the team. What's your starting lineup?
So I'm going to go for Pope and goal, back to Pope. I'm going to leave the back four the way it is. I don't think Target's ready to come on, but I would have him probably 60 minutes. I'd swap him out for Burn. And then I'm going to have... I'm going to put Gordon on the right. And then is it the right or the left? I was getting right to left confused. Anyway,
I mean, he's more comfortable on the left, but
yeah,
I would imagine he probably can play
I'm
either.
going to have him on the right. I'm going to have Longstaff. I'm going to have Bruno. I'm going to have. I'm going to give Longstaff another. I don't think he had a great game. He's probably one of our weakest, but I'm going to give him another. I think I would have him starting again. I don't think Willock's fully fit. Bruno, Joe Linton. Then I'm going to have Maxi on the left and Isak up front. That's what I would do if I was picking the squad.
Right.
I don't think that's what the team would be though.
Mine's pretty much the same as yours. I'm keeping Almiron on, and I'm putting Gordon on in place of Longstaff.
Right.
And I'm having Joe Linton and I'm having Bruno in the middle. He knows exactly what we need.
Now.
And
in the vlog,
yeah,
yes,
in allowing Gordon to get forward a little bit more, maybe he's even coming towards a little bit more of a number 10 role. I know he prefers it on the left and he's more comfortable on the wing.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I could pick the team, I'd maybe have a look at that because I think everybody knows, and yeah, starting Isaac up front as well. I think we know it's time to try and think of a different system now, isn't it? It worked fantastically at the beginning of the season, and it just feels like we've been rumbled.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like we've been rumbled. I mentioned this on the last video. Teams are letting we have the ball a bit more. It's not a case of, all at the beginning of last season was backs against the wall from us. And when Eddie came in and we started this press, and it really started to work because other teams were having the ball and were able to press them. Now it seems teams are counteracting that by letting them have the ball. Well, if they've got the ball, they're not going to sort of press with sort of thing. but we're confident that they're not going to break we're down. And especially once for example, the Man U game, once you're 2 goals down, you can do that.
Yeah,
So the conundrum for Eddie is when we've got large spells of possessions, what we're going to do to try and break them down, because what we're trying at the minute isn't working.
yeah. We're looking at the forms of the teams. The last 6 for us is draw, won, draw, lost. Obviously, only our second defeat of the season. For City, it's won, lost, won, drew, won. So I mean, yeah, they have got 3 more wins than us, but we've lost the same amount of games. So I'm not happy with all some of the stick the defenders getting, because we've been beat twice this season in the league. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't seem that the defense isn't what issue this season. It's not. People trying to pick holes in the defense. That's not what Dan Burn wasn't playing, and that wasn't his position he was playing. So people are trying to pick holes in that. It's the attack that's what problem. It's scoring goals is what problem. It has been for the last couple of months.
Yeah, and we're getting plenty of possession in the final third. Just looking a little bit lost for ideas to what to do with it. The zip in the passing that was there previous doesn't seem to be there anymore.
Yeah.
Could it come back? Yes, it could. But how long are you going to wait? How long are you going to
Miggy
wait
was
before you think
responsible for
yourself?
lots of goals and assists as well.
He was having a right purple patch, and the World Cup just came at such an awful time for him, didn't it? He's the one player who definitely didn't want the World Cup to come, because that he was in the form of his career by no underestimation. He was in the form of his career, but you can't keep looking back. You've got to look at the here and now.
Yeah.
I mean, I was looking at the league table. Liverpool's breathing right down. We're next now. We've got a game in hand in them. We're 2 points ahead of them.
Yeah, I've got it in front
I
of us
mean,
now.
we lose against Man City at the weekend, and Liverpool win. That's us then down to 6. It's Liverpool was one of the teams I wasn't. I mean, you always got to be concerned about Liverpool, but say about 5-6 weeks ago, I was looking and thinking to myself, well, I'm not that overly concerned
I know.
about Liverpool. Now, by the end of this weekend, they could be above us. Then you start looking at Brighton. We're looking the wrong way. We need to start looking up that way again.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you say, it's a really bad game to bounce back from. Man City, you're never expecting anything. That's why I would snap your hand off for a draw right now. A draw would keep us in 5th, even if Liverpool win.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then you look at Tottenham. Yeah, we've got the 4 points ahead of it. We've got 2 games in hand.
Yeah, but if
But
Fulham win,
I never like to
Fulham will take
look
over.
at games as well. I never like to look at games as hands. Like some
No, I'm
people
not talking
a
about
game.
game in hand. I'm talking about this weekend. Fulham could overtake us.
They can, yeah. And when you look at game, people say, but we've got 2 game in hands." But that doesn't mean that's 6 points, does it? You've got to win those 2 game in hands. So
Brighton have got a game in hand on us. Brighton have only played 22.
I
know.
So
they're
on 35.
They're still looking at top 4. They're still looking at top 4, 100%.
Yeah, I know. And
then you've got Brentford as well.
I guess what I'm reiterating is it's the time to start turning it around is now. Before it starts slipping away. There's still time to turn it around now. But we need to start picking up 3-pointers. Probably not going to happen this weekend. If you can come away with a point at the weekend, it's massive for the morale. And then you say, right, come on. You see, we're going to what is effectively probably the best team in Europe, if not the world, and we're getting a point twice this season. We can do this.
I think we do. I think you're right. A point would be great this weekend, because there's only 3 matches in March. City on the weekend, and then after that we're playing Wolves at home, and then Forest away. Now you've got to look at getting 6 points from those games. You have to. You have to.
If you want top 4 aspirations, you have to. Yeah. If you want top 4 aspirations, you have to. And that but it wasn't too long ago we had a run of games which looked really favourable. We drew 0-0 with Leeds. We managed to get a late winner against Fulham, which gave us the 3 points. no matter how we get it, if we can get 7 points out of the next 3 games, we're right back in it again.
Yeah.
We're right back in it again. On the flip side of that, we get beat off Man City. Then those games, you draw one of them, you're starting to look back again. So yeah, it's 3 massive games coming up now.
Yeah, huge. I think as well. I think the difference between finishing 4th and finishing 7th dictates how much we spend in the summer as well. Because I don't think they'll spend the same amount. Well, they'll not attract the same players if we've got like Europa Conference to if we've got Champions League.
Did you see the thing Amanda Staveley put out?
What about we will win the cup? Or?
No, not that one. She put something else out today, basically along the lines of like, we are still kind of restricted with FFP, and basically blaming it on the fucking shit deals that Ashley got in, like the shirt sponsor with Fun 88, basically saying it's worthless. Basically, it's worth nothing.
Yeah.
They're trying to obviously boost their income in other ways, but they are still restricted because of just some of the ghastly decisions that he made to fill his own pockets as well.
Well, they paid Fun 88 out this after the end of the season. They're gone.
So it's important to get somebody in who's going to,
and hopefully Castell will be gone as well.
But yeah, I mean, she said something interesting as well. She says, we can't afford to buy a dud player. Now, read into that what you will. Does that mean that they're going to not just, buy many players, or does that mean that they're gonna shoot big? What do you read into that?
I think they're going to go for Premier League proven. Like this talk of Madison's not going away, is it? I think that's going to be that. Yeah. I think that's the one they want. And I don't think they'll spend big on like another Isak style player that isn't proven. I don't think they will.
Yeah, the proven's the golden word, isn't it? Because and we do have to keep reminding ourselves we are overachieving this season.
Oh, completely.
We're having an absolutely amazing season. I know it's been a little bit doom and gloom over the weekend, and sometimes you have to give yourself a reality check and say, well, actually, hang on a second. A lot of us were saying top 8 in the cup run. Well, we've got to the final of a cup, and we're sitting fifth in the league. So sometimes you have to give yourself that reality check because we had such a good start, but at the same time as well, don't start settling and saying, "Oh well, we're still doing all right. Keep pushing, and keep trying to get the best out of it, and trying to pick up as many points as possible." And if we can finish within that top 6 this season, massive, absolutely massive for our signings, for our money coming through the door, for the worldwide scope of getting how they want the brand across. It's just absolutely massive.
It is. And on that, what's your score prediction?
I'm going to go. Oh, I wish you wouldn't ask us. Right, I'm going to be the same as you. I just can't pick what to get defeated. Yeah. So I'm going to go 1-1.
I'm going to go 1-1 as well. I was going to say 0-0, but there's no chance of a 0-0, I don't think.
I'd take a really boring 0-0.
I would, but yeah, I'm going to go 1-1. Yeah, so listen, guys, if you're enjoying these videos, please comment below with your score predictions. We might get a little table going of who's correct each week.
Good idea.
We'll give you a prize. I don't know, kind of trip at the end or a Valium. Yeah, I've got a pair of rusty scissors, or I've got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Take a pick out of all those hero turtles. You can take a pick out any of those items. Do a little table. So please,
I've got a cotton bud if that interests you.
Score predictions in the chat. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, however, man, just subscribe. It's free. Doesn't cost now. Just click the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up button while you're at it. Give it a little tickle. And Kevin will be back on Saturday, Sunday, or Monday.
Do a little debrief.
Do the review.
It probably depends on the result and how excited or deflated we are. We normally sometimes we have to lick with wounds and sort of.
Well, it's an early kick-off on Saturday and it's away, so maybe we could do it not long after. We'll see.
Well, I've got the Ben coming around to watch it as well. I said she can come round and watch it with her dad. So me and Me and the Ben are going to watch it together.
Sunday or
So
Monday, we'll look at doing it.
Right.
And then we'll be back midweek for the Wolves preview after that.
Right. All right.
Excellent. So once again, like, subscribe, comment, share. Just do everything that you can't bother to do. Just do it, man. Just do it. Go and do it now while we say bye. Bye.
Bye. Come on.
Do it. Do it. Do it.